Why, hello. Welcome to episode 47 of the Toy Owl podcast. What's up, Kevin?
I'm Kevin. You're Dave. And if you can't tell, guys, I'm so disappointed. I am not in my mother's basement. We had told you and we had hyped it up that I was going to be in my mom's basement, but I was with my mom. I was up in Cincinnati. As you saw, I was at the toy department yesterday, but had some crazy work stuff happen to where I needed to get on the road and get back here to my home base to be able to get some stuff done for work. So, guys, I'm back. Dave, I'm back. I was making sure that I got on my, what is it? What are they? G7s? Are those nice jets?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I got on my
I
got on my G7 and got back over here just in time to be able to kick off episode 47 of the Toy Isle podcast. So good to be with you, Dave. So good to be with you, everybody that is out there. Mighty Mouse said checking in early. That is some dedication. I think you got here an hour early. If we have fans that are showing up an hour early for this is pretty cool, man.
He's always checking in. Yeah, he's got to get that first in, So what's up, everybody? Dude, Kevin, I'm not gonna lie, man. That toy hunt that you did, I don't think that's an understatement. The toy department is probably like the raddest like toy store in the States, next to like maybe Kokomo, right?
Yeah, and I mean Kokomo's its own entity and its own beast, and it's kind of, you go there and it's just wall to wall of like new stock because they're almost kind of like a distributor as well. But the toy department is just full of people's collections and vintage pieces and everything. And if you don't know what we're talking about, naturally, I was at the toy department talking about the Toy Isle podcast. And so we did a quick little tour of the toy department and did a live yesterday. So if you want to check that out on my Instagram, it is. Always check out all of our Instagrams, Order 66 Junkie, Kiko Collects, our YouTube channel, which you're obviously on, my YouTube channel, the Toy Isle TikTok, which, Dave, I think we need to address the elephant in the room. Last week, we had a few technical difficulties, and so I went on to the TikTok and did a little bit. If you got it, there was a Jurassic Park reference when Ian Malcolm was talking about seeing dinosaurs on the tour, talking into it. But I want to say we're not clowns. If we know what we're doing, we're here, guys.
Yeah, you are going to have dinosaurs on your tour, right?
Correct. See, no one would have predicted Dr. Grant jumping out of the car. That is chaos.
Dude, I just watched I'm on like this rewatch kick. I was going to kind of talk about it later on, but I'm trying to watch like a movie every single night, and for every like throughout the week, I'm probably only watching like one new movie. All of the other movies are like just a rewatch. So I'm doing Jurassic Park. And I probably haven't seen Jurassic Park 3 since maybe like one and done in the theater.
Yeah, I might be there with you.
It's not a good film.
Isn't that the one where it has the raptor going, Alan?
To be honest, I didn't even finish it. But yeah, I got about 2/3 in, and I didn't get to that part. But it almost looked like they regressed. Like, maybe there wasn't nearly enough money in the budget in making it, but like the CGI and stuff like that, it looked like it took a step back to, the second one and hell, even the first one. And I mean, there's like an 8-year, 10-year, delta between the first one and the third one. So it's just not a good one.
I've not probably seen the third one in a minute. Now you've got me wanting to go back and possibly even watch it tonight to fall asleep to.
Yeah.
But yeah, the original Jurassic Park just holds up so well, and it's so damn good.
So good. All right. Well, we got some stuff to cover. I mean, Star Wars has been pretty light for a while, and they've been kind of gearing up for this Father's Day thing, and that happened. So I will say this. Golf clap. I mean, I'm usually always busting the balls of the Hasbro Star Wars team. I'm the first guy to kind of have to nitpick that team and whatnot, but I feel like they did a great job. I was really happy, and I was like pumped.
Has Patrick redeemed himself in your eyes?
No, but no, but. Yeah, I mean, we'll get into the reveals. I mean, like, so for example, the first one, right? This was rumored for a while, but we finally got, the latest archive wave announced. That's coming with this, classic 501st Trooper. the one that was available before only came in that kind of Order 66 Entertainment Earth pack. And Jesus, like, dude, that was going for like $400 on eBay and stuff like that. So
yeah, my buddy was talking about that because he wants a lot of people want those, and I mean,
well,
$400 for those are
yeah.
that's indefensible. I mean, I waste money on a lot of things too, but I mean, for 400 for that is just that's indefensible.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, four figures. I mean, there wasn't really anything fancy about the box, but although the box did that like cool like organ, like it kind of folded out and whatnot, so that was kind of cool, and it had a slipcase too. But I looked at mine and I looked at this one, and there's really nothing different. I mean, some paint variations, but that's just because of the battle damage. So like they're all going to be a little different, but there's really nothing else different about this one. As you can see, already sold out on Hasbro Pulse. I believe the majority of them are, but the rest of that wave, I mean, I don't know how you feel about that, but the rest of this archive wave was we got the Revenge of the Sith Obi-Wan.
Yeah, that was a much needed one. I think some people are still a little bent out of shape on the mold, still not being great. I know people complain about the neck and the face and things, but the whole point of these archives is that they're literally taking the molds and just repainting them. Because I remember people were upset about when they re-released Maul. They're like, well, the legs are still crappy and the boots don't hold up. So that's part of this archive thing. All you're getting is the paint tech. So
yeah,
you really can't be that complaining about it.
I'm sure they're gonna do like archive 2.0, and then they'll
money
get
on the table, baby. Come on now.
Yeah, then you'll get the full actual full update. But yeah, no, I'll be getting this one for sure. I actually missed out on that I believe it's a Walgreens exclusive. When his first release, and
you talking about the Clone Wars release or this?
No, just when this whatever figure this is from, like the orange wave, like way back then, and obviously as soon as this was kind of rumored it was coming, I was like, well, I'm no longer going to hunt that down because the sculpt on that one is pretty rough. And then to round it out, we got a New Hope, Princess Leia, the sculpt, it's pretty spot on. I don't know. What do you think about that? Yeah.
I've always thought, ever since they started doing the face printing tech, that they really excelled on the Leias. I remember the first one I think they did it to was the Bespin Escape Leia. And I mean, that was for, a $20, $22.99, excuse me, for a $22 figure. I mean, that's a little Carrie Fisher, and it looks so good. And they've really got that one down. This one's got that stern look to it. And I know that this is the iconic look. I get that. But, and everyone knows I'm a Star Wars honk. Am I a poser? Once again, if I told you I am not a fan of this look in the trilogy. Because
just the classic look.
I don't like the buns. I've never liked the buns. And I understand that is Leia, and everyone equates it with the cinnamon buns on their ears. But I've never got into that. And I've always thought that it was weird. I always had the crush on Bespin Leia, when she's got her rose and
the braids. Yeah.
You're with me on this. So, but anyway, I mean, this is awesome because people were wanting this one, and it's much better to not only get a figure you want, but a figure that is greatly updated. And that's what this is.
Yeah. No, I totally agree on that. I hope she can stand a little bit better, but I'm sure, like you said, they're not changing anything with the actual structure of the figure. So, lastly, Darth Raven. So this one,
that's the only one that's a little bit of a head scratcher to me, just because this is like the third release, and unless we are going conspiracy theories on all this, especially we'll talk about this when we get to Star Wars a little bit more. There's a lot of Knights of the Old Republic stuff floating around there. What is their main end goal here? But it's a cool figure, not gonna lie. But
I just don't think that there's anyone that like needs this figure. You know what I mean? Like
this one at this point.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's this exact same situation as when we got Thrawn, was just last wave or whatever, and we're like, why all these figures, that Thrawn figure wasn't even that old, first of all, and there was nothing that really needed to be improved. one might even say that the earlier sculpt is better looking. I got both of them, and I don't think that the first one's like bad by any means.
No, it's not, especially since it's a blue face. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot, it really can help. It really helps the sculpt in general because it's an odd color and it really brings out the
Well, and
details. I never had a problem
he's
with
kind
it.
of like an alien, right?
Yeah.
So you got some liberties there, but yeah, I think this just falls in the whole realm of they're just greasing the skids to have him in main media, in canon. They'd be silly not to explore that, Knights of the Old Republic. So
Yeah,
it's gotta be coming.
More is coming. More is coming.
Yep. Okay, so that was the piece on the archive, and then the other stuff that they rolled out, which wasn't a surprise because if you guys are following all the accounts and whatnot, we knew we were getting a Rogue One pack out similar to what they did with the Rebels, and we were going to get that last figure to fill in the crew, and there he is. So we got a Bodhi. Dude, this looks amazing. One of the
best figures they've done. I mean, it's been worth the wait, I would say.
Yeah.
And let's just talk about this packaging. That seafoam green is so damn good.
It's so slick, good. Man. Totally goes with the movie.
There's something about the whole Rogue One, anything that's tied to Rogue One is always so well executed. And I don't know if it's because of the aesthetics that went into it. I mean, look at this thing. It's incredible. Yeah,
it looks great. I'm glad that they decided to give him that kind of pack out with the cable backpack. I think that's cool. I love it. His tactical vest, the goggles, like they definitely did this figure justice. And yeah, I can't wait to fulfill my crew. And
yeah, are you going to be getting? Which ones are you going to redo? Essentially,
yeah. Yeah, I was actually, when I was prepping for the show here, I was kind of thinking about that, because I don't know if I can go ahead and buy all 6 of these, Bays. I'm probably not going to upgrade him, even though obviously that sculpt
he does look exponentially better, though.
It's totally improved, but there's really nothing else on that figure, that really needs improvement other than the sculpt. Again, I'm never going to do this, but I mean, look out for the fig swaps. I mean, this is going to be classic. Buying the whole wave, and someone's going to return that whole wave back with the figures that they got.
That's a great point. But I will say the Chirrut and Bays are a little bit harder to have found. So, but I think those gens are going to be well restocked.
Yeah, that might be a long game venture for sure. See how low you can go on clearance. Yeah, Chirrut looks great. K2, obviously. I mean, you'd really only be getting him just to fulfill the mural.
Yeah, exactly.
We talked.
It's a good Cassian outfit.
Yeah, we talked about this the last week, right? This is the one that I wanted. I think you wanted this one as well, right?
Correct. Yeah, I wanted the Jedha outfit, and no one wants that rain poncho. I think there's a lot too much PTSD from seeing it on the pegs forever, and I don't think we would ever want to see that again. So I think this was the Target exclusive that came in the 3-pack or whatever it may have been. So this is obviously the much better Cassian, and he looks incredible as well.
Dude, yeah, he looks fantastic. I mean
that's Diego Luna. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, I got Narcos Mexico vibes for sure. Yeah, dude, this is great. Yeah, so this is possibly one that I would be upgrading. And then like I said, the Jyn Erso, I've always kind of mentioned that. I even kind of I think I picked her for a candidate for the archive line, and I got absolutely destroyed for even thinking of that. Oh, you can just go and get it right now for $10. I'm like, yeah, I can go and get a shitty one for $10. Like I want a good one, Yeah, that looks amazing, dude.
Man, and who doesn't want a perfect Felicity Jones? I mean, that's her right there.
Yeah, this is great. So yeah, I'll be not just supporting the line, but yeah, I'll be purchasing this one, no problem. And then the Bodhi for sure. I mean, those are just some great figures. And you know, that's got to be the best mural kind of that we've seen so far. I mean, the Rebels one. I mean, I don't think it's nearly as impactful as this Rogue One one.
No, and I think because of the Rogue One story, and
Yeah,
spoiler alert if you haven't seen it already, but everyone in that mural dies, you know, and I think that's crazy to think about. Is that that's what's so unique about this movie is that no one made it out, and so
yeah,
there's you're kind of getting an iconic mural of in remembrance or in memoriam, essentially. And
yeah.
I know we're getting ready to talk about it as well about the other two figures that were released as well. You know, to go with this. You know, they didn't make it out either, but I mean, how cool is it to get a Mads Mikkelsen figure? I mean, that is awesome.
Dude.
We're getting Galen Erso, guys.
You know what? And when we're kind of talking about like who we would want out of this Rogue One wave, I don't know. Did you bring that up? It was he wasn't even on my radar, but yeah, I'm absolutely. I mean, it's a dreaded Target exclusive, but him and Antok Merrick, you know, get Galen Urso and then Antok Merrick, you know, they're going to be Target exclusives. You know, they're supposed to. They were on pre-order last week, I believe. Um, yeah, I mean they look amazing. And Patrick, our boy Patrick, he did say that they're not done with Rogue One for Black Series. Expect more at the end of the year.
And I guarantee that will be Saul. It has to be Saul.
It's got to be Saw. So
I don't think there is literally any other character other than troopers that are left.
yeah, I mean you could do some like
Unless you
really
do
deep
Vader,
cuts.
a new Vader potentially.
You know, I could see Krennic getting the upgrade. You know, because that sculpt for Krennic is
Oh yeah,
pretty bad
that's pretty
too.
bad.
You know, so I could see him doing him up. I could see them putting in a shore trooper just for repack in that packaging. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would be interested to see if they wanted to. This is a little bit of a stretch, but we're playing some speculation. You know, why not? If we wanted to do kind of a deluxe set that came with a royal guard, which people wanted, as well as half Vader in the back to tank, that could be a neat little, you know, deluxe type of thing.
Yep. Yeah, I'd be down for that. Um, you know, back to Saw. Let me ask you this. What would you want? Because I was kind of thinking about this. You know, with Zeb, I mean, Zeb made sense, kind of, to be a deluxe figure. Um, you know, yeah, we're just not in that world. You know, sure, I would like to only have paid $20 for Zeb and have him just been in a a normal size box. Do you think Saw would qualify for a deluxe price point box? You give him the two heads. He's a little bit thicker. I'm guessing that's got to be a whole new sculpt. So they can't recycle anything from any other figure to build this figure. So I'm thinking the cost has got to be high. So I'm kind of thinking it's going to be a deluxe.
That and there's two options or maybe three. You know, my mind's running. I'm running on some good Monster Energy on my way over here.
Oh
So I
boy.
got a lot of good stuff going. So I was thinking, and maybe this is what you hinted. You said multiple head sculpts. What if one of the head sculpts was the Rebels version, not Rebels, but the Clone Wars version? So you get a young Saw and an old Saw that you could pop on the body. Another part way you could upgrade that deluxe is possibly do the little hologram thing of Galen, you know, when they're doing the Death Star thing. I think that could be a cool thing. And if they want to do maybe a 2-pack, make it be Saw and two tubes, you know, the one guy,
Right.
That I think he's one of the most iconic, bounty hunters in there. And now that we're thinking of it, I almost expect to see him. So go ahead and mark me down, producer Matt, that two tubes will be a part of the Black Series line before the end of the year.
Wow. I mean, I feel like if they're gonna do two tubes, they got to do Bizpan, the little dude.
Biston.
Biston, yeah.
Yeah.
Did they make a hot toy of him?
No, but the Rogue One Hot Toys line is ridiculous anyway. But I would love a Biston, and
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes game, I'm sure many people have done that as well. But I love the Rogue One squad because they have Biston on there, and one of his signature moves is for Papada, and that's what he yells, and I guess when he's on the
Right.
gun thing. So there's your fun Star Wars fact for your day.
I mean, yeah, two tubes. So, I mean, what an amazing figure. I mean, I would love to have that. Just the toyetic of it. You know, it's just a fucking awesome looking alien dude. And I think he's got a brother. Like there's like two of them. But yeah, that'd be rad. I
Yeah,
mean,
and
but
once again, the Rogue One movie is just it's Star Wars
yeah,
through and through, and that's why we would want a two tubes figure, which is crazy to say, but it's awesome.
it's yeah, dude, it's iconic, man, and it's just getting better with as the years go on. It's climbing. I see everyone kind of post their Star Wars lists, every year, and I'm just seeing it like climb and climb, and I mean it even climbed on my list. Like it's my second favorite Star Wars movie, But back to Saw, I was thinking it would still be just a classic Forrest Whitaker, but with the older version where he's got like that kind of bad afro, and then
the chiseled carved up afro.
yeah, and then just a straight shaved head. So that would be
right.
awesome.
That's right from the beginning of the film.
Exactly. Yeah.
When
So
he gets a little gin.
Because if you threw on that Clone Wars one on that body, it probably wouldn't work. But like I could see them doing a Clone Wars just complete figure, Clone Wars packaging or
if we're gonna
Rebels
do
or
Bald
Bad
Saw
Batch
for a deluxe, you might as well just throw in like little Jin. That could be an addition onto that as well. She's about to be the size of an Ewok, or because it's no different than the Yoda Luke 2-pack, something along those lines. And I highly expect it to be something like that for when Omega comes out with Bad Batch as well.
Omega.
So we'll see.
Omega.
I love Omega.
Well, let's get into we got a pretty weak pipeline. I can't remember the last fan panel that we got, but I wasn't pleased with it, and the only figure that we got in the pipeline is, speaking of Omega, was her. This pipeline on this one, they brought it.
It is gushing.
They brought it, and these are all slam dunks. They kicked it off with an army builder. So the fact that they even acknowledged it as an army builder, I'm hoping that means this won't be an exclusive, and this is just something that's readily available. I mean, you can't call something an army builder if it's going to be like an exclusive, because you want people to be able to army build it. Well, how are you going to army build it if it's eBay. A Target exclusive, and then the Target employees are only allowed to give out one a day, or one a person, or whatever, right? So it just kind of defeats the whole purpose of army building. So it needs to be something that's readily available, just on your site all the time. You know what I mean? Just have
it's
this
a simple
up
concept,
all the
isn't
time. It's so crazy to me. Yeah, so that looks great. I'm guessing it's going to be the completely new kind of stormtrooper build that we got a year or two ago, just with the Pauldron, obviously. Our boy Phil's got to be. I texted Phil right after this. He's getting his beloved Bib Fortuna.
Yeah, hats off to Bib. We're so excited to get him, and I know Phil's super geeked about that.
Yeah, yeah. He's pumped.
Bib's his boy.
And I'm glad that they threw in a picture and not, if they wanted to kind of facilitate hype and stuff, they would have just had no pictures, but just the word, of the characters. So, and then you could be like, oh, well, Bib Fortuna, is that going to be Mandalorian? Yeah. Is that Mandalorian Bib, or is that Return Jedi? And then Mayfield. Oh, is that going to be season 1 Mayfield? Or is that going to be season 2 Mayfield? Same thing. Fennec Shan, right? Like, is that going to be Bad Batch? An animated style? Is that?
Can we stop for a minute and just be excited that Fennec is coming?
Yeah.
And you are clowning if you don't think I'm pre-ordering that day one.
Oh, you are? You're getting this?
I would absolutely. I will pre-order that or search for it in the store. I have to have this figure.
So is that staying in the package?
Yes.
Yeah, dude. Nice, man. Yeah, I love it when you get back into Black Series a little bit. Dabble in the
Yeah,
water, you
they're
know?
going to be selective, but as I've told you before, Finnick is my girl, and I'm excited about this one to say the least.
I mean, I'm pumped for all of these, man. I mean, this is an amazing pipeline. This is the best pipeline I've seen them do.
Do you
The
think
fact
this will be a wave, or do you think they're going to stagger this just to hurt our feelings?
yeah, I would think that this is a wave. Just logistics wise, if they're doing the pipeline, I'm kind of thinking that it's like the next what's coming down the pipe. So why would they, show Bib Fortuna if he's not going to come on the next wave of the Jedi Patrol
I asked that
stormtrooper or something?
because going back to Omega is why was she revealed as one? She's not mentioned here. So where do you fill her in? And is she going to
She,
basically
she
be an online
she
exclusive or
yeah.
something?
I could
We'll
see her
see.
being an exclusive, since she was, kind of just debuted by herself on that
I have a
pipeline.
hard
But
time thinking she'd be a highly sought after figure at this point right now.
no, and I mean, especially with the pricing of everything's increasing. I have a hard time spending what now $23 on just a tiny figure like that. Like with I mean, going back to the Marvel Legends line, like I'm still bent out of shape for having to spend $20 on that Porky Pig or Spider Ham. Like that should have just been in like the Toy Biz days. That would have just been thrown in with the packaging, and you got a comic, and you got a
Different
diorama
times,
base,
bro. Different times.
and you got to fucking build a figure, and it was only like $16.99. I know, old man here. Get off my
And
lawn.
you wonder why KB Toys is now out of business. Damn.
Yeah. But no, I'm out of all of these though, dude. I'm most excited about Mayfield, and I know this was kind of just an easy one for them to do because it's basically the troop transport, but they did have to get Bill's likeness rights, and I would have loved to have been like a fly in the wall in that conversation because he makes fun of like nerds like all the time, like that's like part of his bit, so he that would have just been funny, like, wait, you're gonna give me fucking 50 grand just to put my fucking head on the toy, like, sure, yeah, are you fucking kidding me?
I'd be foolish not to fucking take that. I can't wait
Yeah.
for the stand up when it comes out, and he obviously will be start
Oh,
giving those
he's
away.
got to
It's
talk
gonna be
about
great.
it.
It's gonna be great.
Oh yeah, and I mean, now that
I'm a fucking
they
action
yeah,
figure.
yeah, he'll totally work that in, and now that they got his likeness, we will, I'm sure, get him in his classic get up from chapter 5 or whatever, the Prison Break episode. So, and that's, dude, I want to do a cosplay of that, with his like fucking gun out of his back, like that'd be cool to see in a toy. But yeah, dude, this is a knockout pipeline reveal. Really pumped about it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the Cobb Vanth one's going to be a sleeper as well. I mean, there's not a
Yeah.
single there's not a weak figure here, so that's exciting. So hats
Yep.
off to the Hasbro team, and they didn't stop there, man. They continued to pump things out, and they
Yep.
said if we can maybe switch over to that, is that HasLab 2021 is coming to the Black Series. The much speculation can begin, but they did say it's not a vehicle. So what is it going to be, Dave?
I mean, well, first of all, didn't see this coming. I didn't think that we were going to get for the next HasLab that it was going to be Star Wars. I was really hoping G.I. Joe was going to get the next HasLab opportunity. And who knows? They still could.
Correct.
I mean, they kind of got this HasLab machine, moving now. So why not have a couple campaigns going at the same time? I think we've already had a couple overlapping, where we've had one, that
Unicron
was maybe
and Sentinel, and then the Razor Crest, and then back at, I thought there was another one after that even. But yeah.
There was like a board game,
Yeah.
something like that, like a not Dungeons and Dragons, but like something that their kind of gaming department was rolling out. But yeah, I mean, I could see this happening. We'll probably get a reveal for it, towards the end of the summer, I bet, or even like next month possibly. And then, I would think they would open up the window, October, for 6 weeks or something like that, and say it takes a year, whatever it is, start showing up towards the end of 2022 or the beginning of 2023. And well, that's perfect timing for the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi.
Look at you. So I think you've even answered the question. I think Oliver even said a second ago, I think the Rancor or something tied to Return of the Jedi is a huge speculation. I think that's a safe speculation, something along those lines.
It's just that, if you take vehicles off the board, that is a lot. And to be honest, I'm glad they did, because Jesus, I don't need a fucking 6 foot, X-wing or something like that. Like,
because that TIE fighter is still sitting like on people's or in stores corners that no one can sell.
Yeah, I mean, I got that TIE fighter in a really weird, I don't have it displayed properly. It's basically just like
it's
on the
huge.
top of a.
It is huge.
And if you get past that, as far as a ship, that was, I think, retail on that was like $100 or something like that. So, I mean, I got mine like discounted. I think I paid $50 for it or something like that. But as far as vehicles go, I know it's not vehicles, but like what would be bigger than a TIE fighter that would warrant that like kind of price range of a HasLab? And it's like, dude, I guess the Falcon, and that thing would be fucking huge.
That'd be the size of my car. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, it'd be like $600, but
I don't think anyone would want just a cockpit. I wouldn't. I certainly wouldn't.
So you take that off the board, then it's your only options here are dioramas and bigger characters / creatures or animals, right? Obviously we got the Dewback. Bantha, I don't see a Bantha being HasLab worthy. I could see them doing a Bantha in, just how they did the Dewbacks, so I don't think it's Bantha. Then the obvious answer, is Rancor. And I was thinking of this scale in the Rancor. I still don't see that really justifying a HasLab on its own. I mean, sure, yeah, they could fucking make a 6-inch scale. What is that? 1/12? Yeah,
1/12 is 6 inches.
Yeah, a 1/12 scale Rancor and charge whatever the fuck they want to charge for it, $1,000, But would it really be? What would it really be worth? I don't think a 1/12 Rancor would be worth any more than like $200. I mean, I don't care how articulated you make it. So I don't see that being a HasLab on its own either. But if you can do something along with it, diorama, fuck, man. I mean, if we could get some sort of Jabba's playset type thing, like that could function as a display piece and, has playability, dude, that would satisfy so many people. And, who knows what, Jabba's palace is going to be playing in the Book of Boba Fett. I mean, like,
that's another great point. Yep. A crossover a little bit.
Yeah. And like, dude, they could even do something crazy. Like if they did do, you got a Jabba the Hutt too, right? And then they give you 2 thrones, right? They give you the little throne that all these customizers are just having a field day. The 3D printers are making awesome little, smaller versions of the throne for Fat Bib Fortuna. They could throw in the regular one. So it's like, you want to go OT, you can go OT. You want to go
Mando,
you
can buy 2 and set up each display.
There you go. Yeah,
there we go.
So I don't think there's any other like options. I mean, so I've seen some people throw out shit like, the Rise of Skywalker, Palpatine kind of throne with his apparatus. I'm like, that's cool, but
that's still not that for one does not command the attention, I think, of a majority of the fan base, and then 2, you just can't once again hit that price point. And I think there is something to be said of the multiples. Granted, the Razor Crest, you only get one of those, but if you can somehow try to get and incentivize someone to buy more than one of them, But it's fun to speculate, and I like doing all that stuff. So
Yep.
hats off to them to getting us talking.
Yeah, and I mean it's got to be something. It's got to be a stinker for me not to buy it. I mean, I've backed everything Star Wars that HasLab has done, and I'm primarily. I mean, I don't even collect vintage collection, and I bought both of them. So I'm primarily a Black Series guy. So I feel like I gotta get it, but like if it's not something that is a diorama base, I'm just having a hard time thinking what other options it could even like be. I mean, I don't think the Black Series will get too many at bats and for a HasLab campaign to say the least.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting, and I was trying to run the gamut in my head and say a couple of other things, but once again, those are vehicles, and you got to take those out.
Yeah, exactly, man. So that was it from the panel that they did. Again, I mean, golf clap to that team. I think they killed it. They did a great job because I was excited. After it was over. I was like texting you, I was texting, some of the homies, and I never really do that after the Star Wars panel. So I was really pumped about this one. And we got one more thing. It wasn't on the panel, but it was something I believe it was shared yesterday. A Gaming Greats figure. So this is shit. You're probably familiar with this guy. Then this is Zalbar from Knights of the Old Republic.
Yes, and it's so funny because a couple weeks ago we talked about this whole poser thing, and there's so many people that are pissed about this figure, and I think that it's okay to be disappointed in a quality of a figure, because let's talk about how the paint apps are not really sufficient, and this dude's got licorice straps, essentially for his look. It looks like a cheap figure, and to be a $25 figure, it does not look great. Yes, the Zalbar character is great, Knights of the Old Republic and all that, and then all the other people are talking about, well, if you have this and you have Revan, obviously, then you could get Bastilov, then you can get Malik, you can get all these other people that go with this. Aren't you seeing the big picture here? This is exciting to think through. But I'm not upset that they're releasing it. I'm upset about the quality of the figure. And I think that is a worthy conversation to have. You can't command a $25 price point for that, if you ask me.
And I mean, it's not like they're hiding the fact that this is literally just a Chewie figure that they threw, Chewie's bowcaster. I'm trying to think. This has got to be from the Marvel Legends. I would really highly doubt that they, built that sword specifically for this character. I feel like that's got to come from, they're too cheap just to build something specific for a figure like this.
Oh, totally. And I think the only thing that would be good is that if you talking about you understand what this means, if you do get the Mission Val character, the blue Twi'lek, I think that would look good, especially if they're going to continue with the KOTOR piece. But yeah, I mean, this was a cheap miss, and I don't know. I'm sure there's people that are excited about it, but you can't debut that on the side packaging, make it look badass on the side packaging, then put that in it, So
right.
That's me on that.
Yeah, no, it's a big no for me too. There's only a few Gaming Greats that I'll go after, and they're mostly trooper based. But as soon as we get some heavy hitters like Star-Lord or something like that, man, that's gonna be a good day. Damn good day. Mighty fine
Star
day.
Killer, not Chris Pratt, right? Star-Lord.
Oh yeah.
Although I would love for that crossover film. Can't wait for that one.
Man, I watched that the other day. Volume 1. What a phenomenal film.
It's so good. So good.
That's got to be one of my favorite Marvel movies. My all-time favorite Marvel movie is Logan, but I mean that's got to be in the top 3 for sure.
Right.
All right, so rounding out Star Wars, we got some of course they brought some vintage collection news, and
it has been a minute since we've talked about anything with the vintage collection. So thanks for hanging in there with us, everybody.
Very much a minute, dude. And I feel like the vintage collection community was pretty satisfied with the reveals that they got. They actually got like new figures and not just an announcement for figures that are just repacks. Like they got actual like new figures. But to kind of go through the house cleaning here, here's your fan winner, the Republic Trooper Commando, and already sold out on Hasbro. It's a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. So if you got them, congratulations. Should have been Weequay, but gosh, I fucking need that.
I will continue to fight for Weequay, and I still think that the fix was in on this for quite some time. But it is what it is.
Need that Weequay, man. Yeah. So the rest of the figures that we got, we got a Hoth Rebel Soldier. I believe that was the first time that he's going to be in the vintage collection line. So that's a brand new one. So that's great. Bo-Katan, Mithril, and we'll get into that.
And then, I was going to say that one was the standout for me. I loved that,
dude. The fact that he came with the bounty puck, what a great accessory. I feel like some of the accessories the vintage collection has been getting, specifically that Mandalorian, like, what are we calling it? Deluxe vintage collection that had that pack out with the fucking the ice cream maker. Like, they've been doing some really cool accessories with the vintage collection. So very nice. So Mithril, Quill, dude, I pre-ordered all the Mando ones because I got to get my Razor Crest shelf nice and ready for its arrival.
Ready, stocked, ready to go,
dude. And that's coming up, man, because you got that too, right? The Razor Crest. Yeah, and I think we're getting it like this.
It's been quiet about it,
dude. Well, did you watch that full video?
I saw the screen clips of it, and with all this the conspiracy of the blurred out images, and everyone's like, what is that?
So they did a really cool video. I should have had this teed up here, but they did a really cool, hype trailer, whatever, of the photo session day or the photo shoot day. And I'm like, oh man, like, Kevin, that's got to be like your dream job, right? If someone is,
man.
If they're like,
I want to take product photos.
Yeah. I mean, if they're like, hey, like, name your price, we want you to work for Hot Toys or whatever, and you literally just have to play with toys and fire up your MacBook and your camera, and just because, dude, like, the setup that this dude had was like fucking amazing. Like, he had like a backdrop the size of like a U-Haul trailer. And then the table in front of him, and he had all these beautiful diorama pieces, and he was like using real sand, and like, it's like, dude, like, I can't believe that guy's getting paid for that.
I know, and that's the dream stuff. I mean, we, as a creative person, myself, everyone wants that gig, but it's not everyone gets to do that, but that would be, yes, I've talked about that. For those that don't know, I have my little toy photography page, right there, Kiko Collects, and I take pictures of my figures, and I would love to be an ambassador or a blogger for, these companies to take pictures of it, because as I've said, and my tagline is, this is how big kids play with toys, toy photography.
Boom, put it on a shirt. Love it.
Hells yeah.
So I mean, I like I said, with those 4 figures that the vintage collection got, like, that's more than they've gotten like all year, out of like a panel, it seems like. So, and even the pipeline, we got the pipeline up here. They're getting a Bib Fortuna, they're getting a Lobot, and then they're getting an Navarro Cantina playset. So, the Bib Fortuna's getting across the board. There's some Black Series folks like myself that are now sounding like vintage collection fans going, well, I want a Lobot, fuck that. Why isn't Black Series getting a Lobot? I mean, he's got to be coming, if Mr. John Hollis, he's getting the TVC, he's got to be getting the TBS treatment soon too. With the Cantina, all these play sets that they do. So we've had the Jabba's play set that came with, who did that come with? Who did the Jabba? It came with 2 figures. Yeah, it came with the Han Solo, and it came with another, like, a bar.
Yeah, I thought there was another barge person. Maybe was it Barada? I don't know if it's Barada or something along those lines.
No, it wasn't Barada.
Tib. Was it Ishi Tib, the green little bird looking guy?
Nope.
I'm about to look it up right now.
And then the Bespin. the Bespin carbonite chamber. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm looking.
It was Ree's is who it came with.
Yeah, Reese. Yep, the three I
Yeah.
did. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then the carbonite chamber that just came with one figure, which was a Stormy. So this Navarro Cantina, it's a third play set. Who's coming in that? You know,
I
I
wonder
was
when it
thinking
says
about that.
Navarro Cantina. We already got Grief,
Right.
and there's not really anyone that stood out unless we do get Team Weekway but that's not Navarro when he goes to Tatooine and meets Cobb Vanth. That was Weekway at the
And that's
cantina
not
there.
Navarro.
Correct. So I'm trying to think of who it would be when they redo the cantina. They turn it into the school. But that's a school, not a cantina. So that's
Right.
a great question. That's a great question. I don't know what would go with that.
Yeah, I've been tempted on just like I'm acting like it's a chore to watch rewatch the Mandalorian, but yeah, I might do that just to see like, oh, this character might stand out, like the little dude you can kind of see here with the helmet. Like I know he's like kind of a classic wallflower type character. I don't know. I mean, they could just create some random kind of bounty hunter figure that is like got like 2 seconds of screen time, like Boba Fett did,
Yeah, and
But
I'd be good with that.
Yeah,
Anything tied to Mandalorian is absolute fire, and people want it. And I was trying to think, dude, when they blow through the in the cantina, isn't that where they're held up when Gideon comes through? Because could we get a new incinerator trooper, a new IG-11 with the child on his stomach?
Yeah, I don't know if that was the cantina or not. Yeah, that's a good question.
That's why they ended up turning it into the school, because it was decimated. But I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point. If it is, then that opens up some more possibilities on the characters. Okay, so and then let's get into some 6 scale. So we got a. This is something I'm really on the fence about. I'm on the fence, and if I want to chase the whole Bad Batch group, but we got Hunter.
Yeah, man, and let's give it its proper name. We got Hunter, we got Iko already from Bad Batch. We just need Rika, Tick, and Rosshair. So those are the ones we're looking for. But we do have Hunter, and it's a little jarring to say, to see, the Jango Fett, Boba Fett face with, the Rambo look. And that's a little jarring to me. I thought the Echo was absolutely fantastic because it's got that gaunt look. This one just looks a little odd, and it's got the almost stylized armor on it. Question, am I going to get this? Absolutely. But I love the helmet, but the armor is a little bit lacking for me because it looks animated as opposed to real life. That's my only concern.
Yeah, I haven't looked at the Echo one in a while, but did that have the similar kind of vibe to it?
It was a little bit darker for one, and it had the soft goods, on the sides. But this one maybe they're just not finished with it, and obviously final products will be whatever. But this one almost just looks a little too animated for me. And even the hair, as you can see there at the top, looks a little odd. But the helmet's fantastic. The helmet's absolutely fantastic. I would love for them, if in a perfect world, to do a deluxe Hunter with Omega, just like they did the deluxe Mando with Child.
Yeah.
I can see that coming for sure. If they can figure out how to do the likeness, for her. But what you had said about chasing this line, we're still waiting on Cyborg. So I don't think and we're still waiting on Baze. So they have a really bad track history of starting lines and not finishing them. So I think you have to answer that as a collector, is that, do you want to jump into this knowing you may only get a couple of them to, to fill out a line?
Right. I mean, there's no way that they wouldn't, fulfill this whole group though. Like,
especially down there in the little picture. I mean, there's 5 of them standing right there.
Yeah, and who knows what's going to happen with Crosshair? Is he going to somehow come back to the team? So I'm interested to see how that season's going to play out. But yeah, I haven't pre-ordered Echo yet. I didn't think that we were going to get a reveal for a second, member of the Bad Batch this early, but Shit, yeah, I'm gonna have to do some soul searching if I really want to do this
Yeah, I
or
mean,
not.
we knew this was coming-ish mainly because it
Yeah,
was teased in the Echo pictures, but now we've not seen any other teases, so this may be it for a while. But as you
yeah.
said, I mean, you're leaving money on the table, so um, I don't know. But will I be getting it? Yes, absolutely. But the face and the sculpt's a little bit odd to me.
All right, so what's price point on this?
This
This is
is
250. So
250, which is good. Most people thought this was going to be 285. It's good to see them kind of coming back down to earth a little bit because, especially with the Ahsoka, it was really getting up there. I think the Ahsoka with Grogu or the Mando Ahsoka, I think is like 315 if I remember. And
yeah,
people start to say, "Is this the new trend?" Because I'm about to tap out. I understand people were like, "Oh, it's only an extra $20," but I mean that's at some point you have to pump the brakes and
right.
say, I'm not going to keep giving into all this stuff. So
What
hopefully they've taken notice of that.
what would you say the price point of Rekka? Rekka.
Ricka, Ricka, Ricka is my friend, and I think that he would probably be 300. I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of thinking, he'll
Essentially, it's
be a,
heavy Mando.
yeah, yeah, that's where I was going. Yeah, I was thinking he was going to be the same kind of build. Obviously they're not like reusing any pieces. They're not. They're not Hasbro in that sense. But um, I think there'd be a good comparison for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, I can't wait to see it if that is the route that they do end up going. So Hunta is out there. I guess we'll see. Do we have anything for the grab bag, or are we jumping right over to tipping the
Yep.
scales, my man?
Right over to tipping the scales.
Well, let's go ahead and tip those scales, and
Yep.
we're going to tip right back to 3-0, ladies and gentlemen, with the debut of the much anticipated Lord Friendzone, Sir Jorah Mormont.
Dude,
And
I've never heard of that until you said that like last week, and
I can't take credit for it completely because it came from Honest Trailers. Yeah, you ever watch Honest Trailers on YouTube?
No.
Okay, Honest Trailers is fantastic. They basically do parodies of real trailers, and sometimes they'll do I guess TV shows and things like that, and they just kind of make fun of the show. And they called him Lord Friendzone in that, which that's what he is. I mean, he loves Danny. That's his queen, just like John McClane. But Jorah is a classic character from Game of Thrones, and you root for him. And looks really cool. The tailoring on all these 3-0 figures are absolutely incredible. The head sculpts are only going to get better. And I can't wait for when season 7 Jamie comes out. I think that's going to be the real test to see if these head sculpts are officially going to the next level. As I showed you guys last week, that special edition Danny that I got, that head sculpt's been improved. The Tormund I've seen looks great. This looks great. So 3-0 is really filling into that third-party role of some different types of licenses and collectibles. So I'm really, really excited about this. But let's not stop there from 3-0. This is so exclusive, Dave. I wasn't able to find the picture for it for us to be able to share unless you were able to find it. But there is a special edition, 50 pieces only, red Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe. And essentially it was created by the creator of Deadpool. Oh, did you find it? Oh, look at you. You found it. You win. It's kind of Deadpool with the visor. But this was created by the same by the same creator of Deadpool. And I think this looks really cool. There's only 50 of them. Not something that's going to fit in my collection, but damn, that's a nice looking piece.
Yeah, no, this looks great. It's off of he appears basically in like a new comic run that IDW is doing, Dead Game, Red Dead Game, which is another dead Deadpool, so
Who doesn't love some Wade Wilson?
It's cool, you know what? And I'm such like an exclusive like slut, so if this was just generally available, like you could just go and get this on, Big Bad or whatever, like no, I've no interest in this. I already have just a standard one coming. So I have no interest in this. This is like a total like Drake meme. Like, oh, like I can just go and get this, like not interested. Oh, it's only 50 pieces and it's gonna be hard as fuck to get. Like, okay. Now I'm into it. So it's like I'm totally into this.
Yes,
now because
we're the gluttons for punishment. If something is extremely hard to get, we have to have it. That's what we collectors do, and I'm sure everyone else on the the line and that listen to us are the exact same way. That's the reason that we are criticized, for the way that we do. Yep. So, Dave, I have to ask you: are you going to attempt to get this piece? I think it went up for today, didn't it?
I don't even know how. Yeah, I mean, this variant will have 50 pieces released through
June 18th.
30
Okay, there it is. Yep.
shopping festival, but it sounds like it's not even going to have like an online presence. So I don't know. I'm going to do some more
Can you
research
say
on it.
server crash?
Yeah, I'm gonna do some research on it. But yeah, dude, like, yeah, we are just looking for disappointment. You know, I feel like they're the blackjack dealer in the Vegas vacation. Like, how about we just call it a day? I'll take you back and kick you in the nuts. You know, so it's great though. I do dig it, but specifically because it's 50 pieces.
I thought it was cool that my little Danny was 2,500 pieces. My Michael Jackson's 2,000, but 50. I mean that's some exclusive company, man.
Yeah, I mean, with Hot Toys and that 6 scale, I don't think I've ever seen something 50. I mean well, 6 scale, sorry, Sideshow. What's their 6 scale? Is it they just called 6
It's
scale,
Sideshow.
right?
Yeah, Sideshow 6 scale.
Okay, I didn't know if it had like some funny branding or whatever, but like they did a Daredevil exclusive, and I believe it was like 200 pieces, kind of similar to that Cyclops. And I was like,
Yeah, that
oh,
Cyclops sucked ass, by the way.
dude, it did. Poor Austin. And but like I scrambled so fast to buy that fucking Daredevil. This was like maybe a year ago. Yeah, it's still available. Only 200 pieces.
Right?
It's
Insane.
still available, and it is garbage. It's bad, but yeah, man, it's tough game, that Hot Toy game, man. All right, well, let's get in our top 3 this week. So we wanted to have some fun with the 50th anniversary of Lucasfilm and whatnot. So we're loving what they're doing with the packaging and stuff. That Clone Wars, the Clone Wars packaging is just the bee's knees. That is the shit. That felt really. I felt like weird opening up that packaging to get Echo out, but that's what we're getting at. What we kind of want to see. The next year come out that kind of does pays respect to other products that were under the Lucasfilm umbrella. So I'll kick us off. So number 3, I'm going with the classic. Let's get a line, a couple figures. You could do let's call it a wave of 8, 4 figures and 4 figures. Give me 4 figures of the classic droid card back.
Okay, I like this.
C3PO, R2D2, dealer's choice on the other 2, and then the other 4, the Ewoks line.
That's a good suggestion, man.
They'll come with the coins. We're talking 6-inch too. You get Wicked.
Would it be
in
the
there.
Whack Deco painting?
Yeah, they would look just like those figures, but
Gotcha.
in 6-inch. So they would be fully cartoon figures in 6-inch, and I think that would be absolutely awesome. We've never had anything like that before. Just bright. I'm really on this like color kick.
Yeah, and they did that a little bit with the credit collection. Start where the whatever those were with the
carbonized
the art concepts. Yeah, the art concepts.
Oh yeah, yes.
The colors around a little bit. So yeah, the bright color option is potentially on the table.
Yep. And the great thing, I mean, none of those. I mean, there is some like humans, in the droid line, but other than that, it's all like creatures and robots and shit. So you don't have to like fuck around with like that carbonized colored Gina Carano one. Like that just it didn't work because like how are you going to carbonize a human figure? You know what I mean? So I think this line would be a home run. And those card backs are just so iconic. So that's my number 3, a kind of a droid / Ewok, paying homage, all under the 50th anniversary. So my number 3.
So That was such a good one out of the gate. I worry about what if we're going to cross paths. We have a good track history of not having the
Yeah,
exact same ones, but I think we may cross on some of these. So
probably.
Let me start on my number three. My number three would be rewind your clocks back to the Power of the Force line where they did the expanded universe for the first time, to where they gave you the diorama where you opened up the back and it was a little bit of a diorama. So
Yep.
let's bring those back to, let's do a wave of 6. How about that? You said wave of 8, so I'll do wave of 6.
Yep.
And do updated versions with the, the Hamill face and all that. So let's get the expanded universe versions of them. I would love a 6-inch Dark Trooper from the comics, just like they said. That was my favorite one from there. They could go ahead and repack Thrawn because he's in that. He was originally from that one. And you could do like Evil Luke and things like that. I love that line. That was one of the first ones I put on my wall when I started nailing them to the wall, was that Dark Trooper. So it was big, it was beefy, and I'd never seen something like that. And I love the Dark Forces game, and my puppy's barking. Sorry about that.
That's the Shadows of the Empire then? The Dark Trooper?
No, that was from Dark Forces.
Okay, sorry.
Yes.
So yeah, but I'm just trying to like visualize like the card back. What did these look like? I'm having a hard time.
It was a normal like green card back, Power of the Force.
Yeah,
but you flip it around and you carved out the back, and it opened up into a diorama.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So that was it.
Well, nice, man. Number 3. I like it. Okay.
So
my number.
You already started getting me scared because I think you may have hinted at something else that I'm doing. But go ahead.
No, I got a like a master list going on too, so I can pull from something if we double dip here. But I don't really know how to kind of roll this out. You could do it, in the Power of the Force 2 packaging. I feel like I'd be shocked if we don't get a Power of the Force, green card back. If we got Clone Wars, like I feel like that has to be coming. And what better way to do that with rolling out the whole Stark communicator tech, those the voice chips, throwing in, the little chips, and then you go out and buy a voice call, communicator.
Such a brilliant marketing scheme, man. They loved me. I love that, and they got me good.
And dude, I mean that's right in that nostalgia honey hole, man. Like, dude, people are gonna be like all into that. I know it was an obvious gimmick when it came out, and there's probably more people than not that were like into it, but I think it's rad. That would be something totally cool to see in 6-inch form. So
points for using the term honey hole, by the way.
Yeah, thanks, man. All right, dude, what's your number 2?
All right, so my number 2 is, I really hope you don't take my number 1. So my number 2 is, let's go back to, I want to see the 6-inch version of, the Power of the Force with the coin, but I want them to specialize for the Return of the Jedi anniversary of the Jabba's palace pieces. I want a 6-inch Amana Man just like that. I want the Sice Noodles and the Rebo band in that little bit, and I want 6-inch versions of the creatures essentially.
Yeah.
So let's get 8D8, let's get EV99, let's get Droopy McCool, Sice Noodles, Rex Rebo, and Amana Man, and that's the ones I want. On those Power of the Force big pieces, I think those will look so good.
Yeah, so almost like a last 17 style, right?
Exactly.
With the
yeah.
Yep.
And it would line up perfectly with whatever this HasLab may be if it's tied to Return of the Jedi. So they can even have a special 7th, figure included in the HasLab. So you never know.
Sure. Yeah, no, I think that's great. I would love to see some last 17 style,
Yeah, I just love Amana Man. That's one of my favorites, and that's one of the ones I always go back to, and was one of my pride and joy figures. And I always go back to that. I love him, and so give it to me, baby. Give it to me,
dude. The day we get Amana Man in Black Series, that's gonna be a fucking good day, man. That's gonna break the internet.
It's got to be coming, right?
For us,
he's gonna be sitting right next to my Finnick. I can tell you that.
Well, they ain't making any sequel trilogy figures right now, so they're just gonna keep pulling, and eventually they have to get to them. Now, I know that's a full sculpt. That's going to be like a $35 figure, and who fucking cares?
Yep.
I'm buying it. Kevin's buying it. Kevin's buying 2. That's gonna be a great figure. All right. I'll save my honorable mention for after are ones, just so I don't potentially take your thunder here. So I think I have an idea what you're going with for your number one. So I'm gonna go with, you know, a good thing we don't have like a judge here because I probably get in some trouble. But it's Lucasfilm. This isn't Star Wars.
Okay.
This
Thank
is a
you, by the way.
Lucasfilm 50th anniversary. So give me some fucking Indiana Jones figures.
That's a great one, man. Good job, and way to save me.
Give me some 6 inch. Let's call it a small run. You know, almost like, you know, I know the plasma line is going to be getting more figures with the afterlife and whatnot, but like let's all acknowledge this isn't going to be, you know, a deep run of figures, you know, like kind of like the Necco at the Back to the Future. Like you're only going to do so many. So let's do that with Indiana Jones, you know, and say like, okay, we're going to release like 4 or 5 figures per movie and call it a day. Like that would be awesome. 6 inch scale. I mean, there's
You'd have to get a Sean Connery, right? It'd have to be Harrison. I'm sorry, not Harrison. Indy. It's got to be Indy, Sean Connery. I'm assuming. I'm trying to think. Would it span all of the 3 Indy films or 4?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think that, you know, there would be room, you know, or meat on the bone to do, you know, the 5th film coming out too, you know, so they could certainly
just no
do,
Shia
you know,
LaBeouf. No Shia LaBeouf figure.
no, I need a Shia LaBeouf figure. I absolutely do.
You should get that from a Transformers line. I'm pretty sure there's somewhere out there with the Transformers line.
Oh my god. Yeah, so that's mine. I think that'd be rad to get an Indiana Jones line. I also think that that's probably one that like a lot of people are like, yeah, we want Indiana Jones, and then it'll be like a thing like the Plasma series where it's just like you just have like I don't know, like Molly Rom is just like sitting on the pegs. There's like 6 figures of Molly Rom.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Shameful.
But, all right, what's your number one, man?
All right, man. I think you kind of know where I'm going. The light is ready to go. We're ready for this.
Shadows of the Empire.
It's the Shadows of the Empire.
I know it.
That packaging with the purple lightsaber and these characters that, if you remember, that this was kind of the first iteration of kind of bringing back, you know, Star Wars, and this was kind of an add-on to the canon that we knew. This was additional story. We get the game, we get the book, we get the soundtrack. If you remember, there's a soundtrack that went to this book.
It's a banger.
It's good. It's good. And I mean, you get a villain in Shizor and Guri. I mean, it's so good. It's so good. And that packaging was chef's kiss, just like you always say. So let's go ahead and just re-release them. And if you want to get crazy, if you want to do like vintage collection versions of it, they don't have to be Black Series. You know, they can do vintage collections. That way we can get a re-release of the Outrider if you want to do that.
And Slave One, you know, with
the absolutely Slave One. And yeah, man, those are so good. They're so good. So that's my number one. I think anybody would be grabbing those purple pegs or purple cards off those pegs, and man, the nostalgia is thick on that one.
Yeah, dude.
Thank you for saving me. That was my number one.
That's an iconic card back. I mean, like, I feel like if you put all the card backs up together throughout the years, I feel like the Power of the Force 2 card back to me is like, that is nostalgia, like that green card back. But Shadows of the Empire, man, just with that purple hint. Yeah, dude, that's a great card back too. All right, well, did you have anything for honorable?
No, I just got so worked up on that one. I'd have to think through it on that one. So no, I don't have an honorable mention, which is rare. I usually have an honorable mention.
Yeah. So okay. So I did have Shadows of the Empire. It was on my list, but I pivoted to Indy because I kind of figured
this is why you're a real one. I appreciate it.
But I was kind of thinking, dude, you know, there's so much unproduced stuff that Kenner had, you know, lined up to do, and you know, it's all out there if you want to see it. I didn't pull up anything to show on the display here, but like it'd be cool to get some of the rumored unproduced stuff. You know, I know a lot of it was like mini rigs, and there were some vehicles. Like there was you know, Millennium Falcon was supposed to have that little you know, shuttle that would come out the center of, you know, the ship, you know, that was something that was on the table. And then there's some figures like that, the Jabba's dancer, I forget her name, but that, you know, Yeah, the bigger lady, you know,
Oh yeah, the six-breasted woman.
yep, she was like they did like a prototype of
I
her,
remember
like, so
seeing that. Yeah,
she got pretty far down the line in production, and I don't know why it got nixed. I'm sure it was probably something like, oh, this is too racy or whatever, right? And then there are some droids, like there is I don't know the droid's name, but like one of the droids that was off of the sand crawler, you know, in A New Hope, you know, that was one that was, you know, there was a prototype for it and whatnot. So it'd be kind of cool to get some, you know, they could even like roll it out like the Lost Line or like
I love that, the Lost
you
Line.
know,
Yeah, Legacy of the
just
Force or something like that.
yeah, like make it deliberate. Like these are figures that were like, you know, never produced, and then like you could get crazy and like there's a whole wave of droid figures that didn't come out. You know, like
Correct. I've seen
they
those too.
they
Yeah.
had like 8 of them. You know, so you could go crazy with it. But yeah, I think that'd be sick too.
And I think
Well,
you may have seen some of the droid figures at Toy Department in the little video, right? Those are so
yeah,
good.
yeah, dude, and yeah, they had a little prototype kind of cabinet too, right? Did they
Yeah.
have any Star Wars stuff in there? I know that
Yeah, I
they had
mean
that
they always do.
Qui-Gon.
Yeah, yeah, they
Yeah,
always have. They have a couple cases actually. I think I've realized I may have walked past it, but as I've said, because Cincinnati is the birthplace of Kenner, there's a lot of Kenner employees out there
yeah,
that are just in the neighborhood, and you know they probably took it from the warehouses, and there's all kinds of molds and unreleased stuff. I mean, it's
right.
so cool just to be able to see that, and I mean that's the birth of collecting, and it's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw they had that kind of Hasbro you know, 12-inch Qui-Gon, right? That was a prototype.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I did. I can't wait to go there someday. All right, well let's shift gears here. Let's get into some Marvel. Legends wise, we're pretty light, but we did get a reveal today, right?
Yeah, it was kind of like at the gun. I was actually driving back and I got a notification that there was going to be the Legends Miles Morales Gamerverse version of his camo outfit, if you want to call it that. This is
I wish they had the packaging. The packaging on the Gamerverse figures are sick.
you like
But
those? I'm not a big fan of them.
the
This
white box, yeah.
yeah. Oh, the
Like
Spider-Man
it.
Gamerverse. I think maybe I'm thinking of something different.
Yeah, the I don't know why GameStop doesn't have a picture of their own fucking product, but I saw a picture of the box, and yeah, it's
Okay.
got that Gamerverse packaging that was similar to the classic Gamerverse
Okay, now I know.
Spider-Man.
I remember the original Spider-Man one. Yeah, but
Yeah,
this one, this is almost just like Iceman, essentially. You know, they kind of reuse some molding here.
yeah,
This looks a little bit cheap to me, and I don't know, man. This one's a little bit of a miss for me.
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm getting it.
Are you?
Yeah, dude. I'm just
You gotta
grabbing.
complete that spider shelf.
Got to have that spider shelf. I finally got it up. I spent like
I
fucking
saw that.
2
Looks
hours.
really nice.
Yeah, dude. The domino effect on a shelf like that is it's a real, you know, real threat, because dude, one goes, you got to start.
Oh, I've said numerous expletives, you know, stacking mine in my day. So
Yeah.
that's interesting. But that's interesting that you're going to be grabbing that. Not going to be from me. I've not yet played the Miles game, so maybe that might be part of it.
Okay.
I might be able to release. I haven't been cool enough to be able to get a PS5. So
I was gonna say, is that one exclusive to PlayStation?
I think it
2?
is. I know it's
Yeah.
definitely only for PlayStation, but I think it's only for PlayStation 5 as well. But
Mm.
they have that for coming. But I want to go back to this issue we talked about last week when we talked about the Mark 1 reissue. We have, as far as you know, 6 scale goes, this is technically not a 6 scale, it's a quarter scale, but it's the reissue of the Mark 42 from Iron Man 3, and people are very, very pissed. And Jetta Patrol,
Why?
Jetta Patrol ended up doing a video of the 5 people that affect reissues, or the 5 characters of reissues, if you want to call it that. There's the one person who is just happy because they weren't collecting at that time.
Like consumers,
or they
okay.
Yes, or they missed it. The second one is they have it and they're happy that you have it. The third person is pissed that you have it because they want to have exclusivity. I fall into that because I like having exclusivity. I think you do too, probably. Yeah. The fourth one is the person who bought it and is trying to sell it, and it's now going down because they can't get their profit. And then the fifth one is the person that's mad or something like that. But there's issues going on, and where do you fall in this when it comes to reissues officially on the record here? When is enough enough? Because I think
Yeah.
we're starting to have that conversation.
Yeah, with reissuing, I genuinely, honestly do fall in the camp of, yeah, let's, if something's like create, like with this Order 66 Black Series pack, right? It's $400. I have the figure. The fact that I think they've re-released all those figures now. The last one was the 501st figure, and you know, if I wanted top dollar, that pack has got, I haven't checked, but I'm sure that pack is dropped in value now. I don't fucking care at all about that. I was never going to sell it. So I genuinely do feel like, okay, cool. Like, I'm glad, my fellow collectors out there are able to get a 501st Trooper, for $22 instead of having to shell out $400, So that doesn't bother me at all. I'm cool with that. I do get bothered when I'm on the kind of other side of that and say, I really want a figure. Like, say you really want these Blitzway Ghostbusters figures, you spend, can't wait to get an update on that, by the way, before we end this episode. Yep. But say you spend, $1,500 on those Blitzway or $2,000 on those Blitzways, and then fucking 6 months later, they roll out new ones or just like a flat reissue, and you could have got them for retail. So that'll sting no matter what, but yeah, I try to have just a more kind of positive look on it, that like, yeah, I'm happy for everyone else that they're able to get this, but when you're on the other side of it and you've shelled out money on these aftermarket prices, and because you're impatient or you just really want that figure, whatever, and you bought that, it's gonna sting.
Yeah, and I've commented on this on the actual video that he did, and he said, well, which one are you? And I'm proud to say that I'm number 3, is that I'm the one who has it and want it to stay exclusive, because the reason, and this maybe I'm a bastard, I guess, so my apologies, everybody. My thing is that I work hard to be able to get these exclusive things, and so when I do, overpay for something that is exclusive, I want to be able to look at that and say, hey, I remember that this is a visual representation of hard work. That's the way it is for me. I'm the one who drove back from Cincinnati today to go to work so that I could do these different things. And that's not, a lecture, but that's the way I look at it. And so I like the exclusivity. I don't mind paying for the exclusivity, because at that point, it's an incentive for me to go and say, okay, I'm just looking at some of the other things I have here. It's like, okay, I will pay a little bit extra for this because it is rare and I want it to stay rare. And if it means something to you and it's keeps that value, then save up, budget, sell, whatever you need to do.
Right.
You and I were talking a little bit back and forth about that Michael Jackson was $4,000. And you're like, don't do that. Do not do that. I can tell you, do not do that. But if I did want to do that, and that's not the right price for it. But at the same point, at some point, I want to be able to say I paid for this, and maybe that makes me a bastard. I don't know, and I want to keep the exclusivity. That's the way it is for me.
You know what? This is an interesting topic. I feel like we could go deeper on this.
Oh, sure.
I did want to kind of go into something that's similar. Speaking more on convention exclusives. Now that is something I've always had this stance on, and I think like comic convention exclusives should be just that. It's insane to me. And my example in Chicago, I'm at fucking Celebration. I can't get the exclusive, and then I have to get it online at home when it gets released to the general public for an exclusive convention that I was fucking at. Like that's insane to me. The people that go to the conventions should be rewarded with something that's exclusive, and only those people should be able to get. If you can't go to the convention, it's like I get it. Like, not everyone can go to these conventions, but for the people that do, it's not like they're just going for free and like they're entitled to go. They're spending their money on flights and all this shit, so it's like, yeah, they should get a little something, so
And I don't think
I
that's asking a lot. I really don't.
it's I don't know how we got in the state that we're at with no, I do know how we're at because COVID made that just
Yeah.
that much easier. But they were doing that shit even before COVID.
Oh,
obviously.
absolutely, there was. I mean, think back to the Spider Legs Mall and things like that.
Yeah, so I mean, that's something that does drive me just up the wall. That you could be at an actual convention and not get a figure, but that some asshole on his couch in fucking Delaware can just with a fast internet connection can get it.
Right.
And so
well, you don't understand, Dave. It's you're getting some intangibles being at the con, that this person can't get. So
yes.
your intangibles of being there in the atmosphere is worth far more than the actual figure.
Yeah, con crud. That's what I'm getting. That's a real thing now.
Crud.
Yeah. Oh man, I can't wait to go to fucking conventions. I'm pumped.
It's
All right,
coming,
well,
it's coming.
All right, well, let's wrap up. So just one thing that kind of wanted to cover on Dave's leftovers here is we talked about Silver 7, fucking Super 7, and they've been teasing about it for a while. We talked about it for a while. Silverhawks, well, they're here. A pack of 4. A lot of people were like, "Oh, they're not shiny enough,"
I've heard all those. Yeah,
this is cartoon accurate. Like, this is cartoon accurate. That the shininess that you're expecting is because of the toy that you had when you're a kid. The original toys were shiny, but this is cartoon accurate. So this is almost like a who was it? NECA, with the Mutagen Man. When I don't know who was working their social media, but they absolutely fucking destroyed some fucking troll on Instagram because he was like, "Dude, how are you gonna fucking let Super 7 kick your ass and Mutagen Man? Like yours sucks." And then he was like, "Whoa, guy, like you clearly haven't watched the cartoon. This is like exact, tit for tat to the cartoon." And he just continued to roast this troll even more. But
100%.
Mr. Brian Flynn, I love how he kind of engages on social media, and he had to educate some people on the whole shininess debate. But yeah, dude, these look good. I'm calling absolute bullshit on this Q4 ETA. There is
Q4 this year.
Yeah, there is
LOL.
Not where did I see that? They don't even have it on their site, but it might have been on Big Bad. But yeah, dude, they're advertising Q4 ETA, and there is not a chance in hell these are rolling out in Q4. I was talking to Mighty Mouse about this, and the fact that, like, yeah, these are just images. Like, there's nothing in hand. So there's no way this shit is coming.
Do they know something that you don't?
No, I mean, they're the only negative that I'll ever say about, I mean, this is like my favorite toy company, Super 7. I fucking love these guys, but I gotta dish out the shit if they deserve it. And
right, it's fair and balanced.
Their estimated lead times are so like off of what's happening. And it's like, I get it, last year that's a wash, but like every single figure that like comes out that they roll out, it's always late. So there's no way this is coming Q4. But I mean, they look good. Again, you and I both missed the boat on this. I've never watched an episode of this show in my life.
No, I did see a few of the old versions at Toy Department, but
oh, you did?
Yeah, they had some of the old vintage ones there. Extremely expensive, of course, but yeah, I have nothing to say about this one. I'm excited for those that are excited, though.
They look cool, man.
That's a sweet packaging, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just a fan of the Ultimate line. I can't wait for the day we get Joe's. I do think that's coming. So there's my tinfoil hat. Yeah, I definitely do think that's coming. But yeah, well, that's the show, guys. Thanks for
we can't end the show without, for one, giving you an update on the Ghostbusters, right?
Oh yeah. So fill us in, man. I don't even know.
Oh, yeah, correct. As I said on the story, that this auction was going to end an hour before the show went live.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, and so I had to kind of figure out what I was going to do. And let's make sure to take a note for next week as well, because we skipped pickups today. And I want to make sure that we talk about that next week, because I want to show you a couple things I got from Toy Department. So we'll come back to that. But update on the Blitzway Ghostbusters. So, Dave, if you remember the first time that they came together and I said, okay, Dave, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And you're like, okay, man, just do it. I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to sell a couple things. I got in a bidding war with a guy. I sniped too early, and I finally just bailed out. And I said, I can't do it. I can't. That's too high. I think you overpaid. I can't do it. Can't do it. And I missed out. And so last week we said, if we can go ahead and get us to 50 people live on our stream, I would buy it now on the air. And that bad boy was buy it now for $2,600 or $2,700. Hella expensive. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and it sold for $2,300. So it almost went to the buy it now price.
It almost went to the buy it now price. It's funny that you brought that link up. So I started to think, and I said, where do I tap out at? Where do I tap out at? And I went back because it was with like 3 minutes to go. That thing was at $1,450, I think is what it was. It was at $1,450 with 3 minutes to go. I fired my shot too early. And that's the thing. I need to figure out like how to fire the shot the right way. Do you do it when you like 15 seconds ago? When do you fire your shot on a snipe?
So I try to be in that like 5-second range.
So you really take it down to the wire. That way you have your set price and you're not going to go over it if it goes over that.
Right. And I mean, I will say I'm usually like that's like for like $5 fucking Daredevil trading cards. Like I'm not doing it on something that's big money like this. But yeah, I've been successful. But yeah, with doing the whole like five seconds, because you got to factor in like there's that like processing time. It's like, oh, it's probably gonna take 5 seconds just for my shit to go in. But I have gone too early, in the 10-second range, and then someone fucking got in, in that 5-second range, so there's a sweet spot.
So all that to say is that I fired my shot too early, and I was like, damn. And I had my number in my mind, okay? My mind that I was going to go, and I fired it too early. And I said, you're the current high bidder, and it was ticking down. It said, you've been outbid. And I was like, damn.
And then over, right?
But as I said, I fired it too early, and so did this bastard. And I said, I'm not losing these over $1. And so that winning bid is my bid.
Oh, you got them.
I got them.
Hey!
Because when I went, while I had time to think through it, is that I went back to look through, and it actually is cheaper than the one that I passed on because the shipping was more expensive on the last batch than this. And so it all comes out to where I saved like $10 total. But that was a hell of an expense. I really haven't really processed it in my head that I finally got them. And we'll make sure to do a nice little review when they do come in. But we talked about this with Afterlife coming out. They are never going to be cheaper. They're not.
Never.
And even if they do release them, I'm waiting 2 years to get them. They needed to come home, and they have. But
dude,
it's good to know that if you fire the shot 5 seconds to go, that's what I need to do, because I fired it with like 3 minutes, missed. He outbid me, and I'm like, okay, do I want to do this? And
so he just raised it by $1.
I raised it by $1 because his max bid was 23.
Okay, yeah, that's funny, man, dude. Huge congrats. So this is going to be your pickup of the year, dude.
It will be. It 100%. I already, like, when I was driving back here, I put the review of it on YouTube just to kind of like watch and get myself hyped about it. So those are hella cool figures, and I'm really excited about it. And yes, because of that large pickup, there are probably a couple little things I'm looking through here to say I might need to offload a couple things here to make room, even just for the display. So, but yes, the Ghostbusters are coming home, buddy.
All right, so let's get our bids in now for when Kevin's gonna put the Ecto 1 on his hunt list.
Oh Lord, I don't have the room for that, man. I just don't. I was even.
Yeah, sure, you don't. Yeah, of course not.
But granted, if the price does show up the right way, I guess we can figure something out. But damn it, but I'm really hyped about it. This. Technically, was my Moon Knight. You know that you and I talked about this. This was my Moon Knight, and I can justify it. It's fine. It's fine.
Dude, good shit, man. Congrats. That's a big get, dude. And
we just got to get you EV99, and then we'll both be doing pretty good.
Yeah, man. Well, good way to end the show, dude. Nice,
yeah, man.
Nice. Yeah, we'll go over pickups next week. Yeah, I don't know how I fucked that up, but yeah,
no problem.
All right, guys. Well, that's the show. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for watching and supporting the show as usual. So we'll see you guys next week, and in 2 weeks is going to be our halfway show of the year. We're going to do our top 10s. We want to hear your guys' top 10s. And we're going to be reviewing our list that we did at the beginning of the year. And now Mayfield's off that list. So
and Finnick.
Yeah, well, we specifically said Finnick hot toy, which
okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I think that's still a realm of a possibility of happening before the end of the year. So that one will still be on the list. But I think we're like averaging like one a month. So I think there's some that I just don't think will happen. Like the Sarlacc pit, like we're not getting that.
HasLab, you never know. Here we go.
You never know. I mean, that's on a vehicle. That could be it. This is a whole Black Series though. Yeah. All right, dude. We'll have a good one, man. And thanks again, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Y'all.
See ya.